Hey everyone, I'm going to review this new Mexican League pack that's come out. It's a nominating contract pack. So let's have a look at the players. So a couple of things to bear in mind. Firstly, these aren't high rated players. You've got mostly 3 stars, a 4-star, and there's only 2 5-stars. So these players aren't going to be the most useful players when you're playing competitively in divs and so on. But we've just had a Mexican League challenge and hopefully we'll get more of those, so they could be useful especially for those. The other thing to keep in mind is that the live update from yesterday, player form, that's going to last for 2 weeks because next week there's no live update. So whatever form players have got now, they've got that for 2 weeks. But also the match pass and the existing nominating contract packs run out in 2 weeks. And this one lasts for 4 weeks from now. So you don't need to rush into making a decision on signing these players just yet. You could leave it a couple of weeks, wait for the next nominating contract packs to come out, which they probably will in a couple of weeks, and then see what players are in there. So you don't need to rush into signing of these, but let's take a look at them. So first up, Lozano. We've got a left winger, roaming flank. He's quick, he's decent on the ball. Skill set wise, it's really all about long range shooting. So he's really someone who's going to come in from the left hand side, cut in onto a stronger right foot, and get some shots away. Really, not a lot more about him. He does have decent pace, balance is pretty good, dribbling's pretty decent for a 3-star. Outside of that, not a great deal going on. He's not bad from set pieces though, so he's got that. But yeah, just a fun little left winger to cut inside and get some shots away. Really. As I just touched on, and I'll say the same thing about most of these players, competitively playing with 5-star squads, he's not going to do a lot for you. But in that Mexican League challenge, could be a pretty fun option to have as a wide left player. Now this guy, Davila, goal poacher centre forward. This guy, quite interesting. He's kind of okay in a whole bunch of areas. Offensive awareness 80, finishing 81. So he's decent in those attacking areas as a poacher. Decent on the ball. Passing is actually pretty good for a striker. 78 for low pass, and he has through passing. So that's interesting. He can create chances, and he can play as an SS or AMF as well. So you could probably get away with playing him in any of those 3 positions that he's got. His pace isn't brilliant. He's not the quickest. He's 170 in height, so he's a small guy, not physically strong. So you want to be careful not to get caught on the ball. But his acceleration is decent, his balance is decent. So long range shooting, first time shot, through passing. He's got some product. And like I say, you could get away playing any of his 3 positions there, up front as a poacher or just behind. Again, competitively, he's going to come up a bit short for you. No pun intended. But Mexican League challenge, he could be a fun option to have either in attack or just behind. First of the 2 centre-backs now, Mori. Again, competitive squads, he's not going to do a lot for you, but for a 3-star and as a potential option in the next Mexican League challenge, pretty good set of skills for a centre-back. His pace is alright for a centre-back. Physically, he's very strong. He's reasonable in the air, 81 jumping, 81 heading, but he's got aerial superiority as well and heading, so he's actually pretty good in the air, 6'1". That middle column, that's the one. 79 for defensive awareness. It's just a little bit short if you're thinking about putting him in a competitive squad. He's going to come up short for you. But again, the Mexican League challenge could be an option. It's not disastrously bad. It's just he's obviously a 3-star card, so he has very much 3-star defensive stats. These are the stats that make him a 3-star instead of a 5-star, because he's actually okay in other areas. Like I say, the pace is okay, physically strong. Not brilliant on the ball. You look at his position chart, he can play left back and defensive mid, but you look at how bad he is on the ball, he can't play those positions. He's just a centre-back. So, yeah, very much a 3-star player, but good skill set and pretty solid on the whole. Just not going to be doing much for you if you're playing divisions and things like that against strong squads. The other centre-back, Sepulveda. I hope I said that right. This guy, not quite as solid as Mori. He's only got 2 skills, although they are 2 very important skills for a centre-back to have. Blocker especially. Interception blocker will come in handy for him. He's lacking aerial superiority, and he's about 5'11", so he's going to come up short in aerial duels. He's got decent stats for the aerial ability, but without the aerial superiority skill and the fact he's 5'11", he'll come up short, again, no pun intended, against big tall strikers if you come up against someone who's putting a lot of crosses in and so on. He does have pretty good pace for a centre-back, to be fair, 78, 76. Down the middle, though, again, this is where he gets held back to 3 stars. He's just similar to Funes Mori. He's not disastrously bad for a 3-star card, but he's just not going to be able to cope with the real strong 5-star forwards, unfortunately. Okay on the ball, but again, same with Funes Mori. Funes Mori, we've got 2 centre-backs who won't really cope if you put them in competitive squads, playing divisions and so on, but in the Mexican League, could be options for you for sure. Brunetta, attack midfielder. This guy's quite tidy. Pretty decent around, really. You look at his skill set on the right here. Long range shooting, first time shot. Those are the 2 key ones. He's got some dribbly stuff. Outside curl and heel trick are nice, but really first time shot, long range shooting. So he wants to get into shooting positions. It's a shame he doesn't have through passing for a whole player who can play as an attack midfielder or SS, but he can live without that. He's got 80 for low pass, so he's got a decent pass on him. He's pretty good on the ball. Offensive awareness 81, pretty good. 77 for finish. It's a little bit on the low side. Again, it's a 3-star card though. And on the right here, his pace is alright. It's decent pace, decent balance. Physical contact isn't too bad. On the whole, I think this is a pretty tidy option again, mainly for the Mexican League Challenge. Playing him in those attacking areas. You could play him wide left, but he doesn't have long range curler and he's not got the best pace, so I think he's a central player. But with that first time shot, long range shooting, and the whole player playing style with 81 offensive awareness, he's going to get into good positions for you and he can shoot. Just don't ask too much from him with the shooting, because 77, like I say, it's a bit on the low side, but certainly he could be an option for you. Nice, interesting little attacking option there in central areas. Then Moreno, we have a cross specialist. If you like playing with wingers, putting crosses in, that's a very nice play style to have. He will hog the touchline, get into good crossing positions. He's got pinpoint crossing. That's the most important of the skills there. He's got some dribbly stuff again. Really only pinpoint crossing is going to be important. Pretty good pace. Balance is decent. Not the best stamina, so he's going to tire out at some point in the second half. Down the left there, he's good at dribbling. So he's decent on the ball. I would like his lofted pass to be a bit better if he's a cross merchant, because he's all about crossing, let's be honest. 80 is not too bad, but it's not brilliant either. So really, again, not going to do great for you coming up against 5-star players in divisions and so on, but in the Mexican Challenge, he could certainly do a job for you on the left if you like. You like putting crosses in, you want traditional wingers. This guy could be a tidy little option for you. Now I got 2 centre mids. Chavez first, box to box, this guy. First thing I look at here, there's no one-touch pass. That's something you always look for from a centre mid. He does have long-range shooting. He's got dipping shot and rising shot, so he's got some fun shooting. He can get some shots away for you. Pinpoint crossing, you can't play wide, so that's really not going to do too much good for you. Interception, always handy for a centre mid. Pace is okay for a centre mid. Good kicking power. Physical and balance are alright. Stamina a bit on the low side. Defensive awareness, he's going to come up short. Box to box, he is going to be getting back and helping in defensive situations, but he's just not going to be the most responsive. So he's coming up a little bit short there. And over here, he's alright on the ball. Passing's pretty good. So, again, competitively, not the best player. He's going to come up short, but Mexican Challenge, again, that's where you're going to use most of these players, I think, and he could be a neat little option for you. And then the other centre mid, this guy's interesting because the first thing you look at with this guy, 87 low pass. Now that is good. For a 3-star, that's very good. Even 5 stars at 87 is good for passing for a centre mid, so that's interesting. He's got good control. He's not got brilliant dribbling, and he's not the quickest, so he's not someone who's going to be dribbling past players and using his pace at all. He's going to just want to get on the ball and pick out a pass. So with that 87 low pass, you look over at his skills. One touch pass, through passing, boom. This guy can create chances. He's got a really nice pass on him. First time shot, okay, you can get a shot away if he gets in attacking positions, but this is a guy who's got the orchestrated play style, so he's not going to get forward that much. You could play him as an AMF, and then his play style wouldn't be active, so then first time shot does come in handy. to be honest, he could be most effective as an AMF with that one-touch pass, through passing, the great passing, good on the ball. Could be used as an AMF, to be fair. Like I say, pace isn't the best. Physical and balance, both kind of okay. Stamina's reasonable. Yeah, this guy, he's really a pass merchant, but he's a decent one. Not only in the Mexican League Challenge, but I think with this guy, you could get away with using him in some matches if you're playing competitively. If he gets form, he'll get a boost, a nice boost as a 3-star player, because the lower star rating on players, they'll get a bigger boost on the game plan. Yeah, this guy looks like he could be useful for creating chances. Lovely pass on him. Interesting card, this one. Goalkeeper Andrada. I used to sign this guy as a 3-star on my club. So this guy's a 4-star. He's the only 4-star in the pack. And you go straight to the goalie stats. 86 goalkeeper awareness. That's good. That's very good. Reflexes 84. Pretty decent, especially for a 4-star card. He is lacking a bit with catching and parrying. So when it comes to holding onto the ball and trying to avoid the ball getting bouncing around into dangerous areas, he's going to come up a little bit short. Reach 81's alright. He's 6'4", I think, roughly. Jumping's not the best, but a 6'4", that's not too bad. But again, with the catching not being great, he might flap at some crosses. Could be an issue. But yeah, ultimately, for sure in this Mexican Challenge, if that pops up again, he'll be a very good option to have, because the only other goalkeeper really who's good from the Mexican League is Ochoa, who's not there anymore. So if you've already got one of the Ochoa cards we've had, you might not need this guy, but otherwise he's a pretty solid option. And to be honest, in general, if you're lacking goalkeepers in any given week and this guy's got form, he could probably do a job competitively as well if you're playing in divs and so on. He's really not that bad. So yeah, not a bad 4-star keeper, Andrada. And now we've got 2 5-stars. I'll start with Gallardo, who's down as a left back. This is an interesting one because he's decent, but I just don't see where he gets his 5-star rating from, because if he's a left back, you go straight to that middle column. He can't defend. They're not disastrously bad stats for a fullback, but they're really not great. I would be scared to play him as a fullback. He does have good pace. He's got very good stamina, decent on the ball, and his low pass isn't great, but his lofted passes is pretty decent. So you look at his positions over here, he can play anywhere down the left. And you look at his skill set, he's really a wing back. He wants to be playing in a formation where you've got 3 centre-backs, and he wants to be the wide man on the left. Pinpoint crossing, track back, interception. So if you play with wing backs, this guy could be a really nice option for you. Long range shooting is a nice little bonus, but really, he'll get back and do interceptions, and he's got good crossing on him with that 84. It's not outstanding, but it's pretty good. Pretty good crossing, decent on the ball. Again, pace, stamina. He'll get up and down that left flank. It's just if you want someone to play as an out-and-out fullback in a flat back 4, he's defensively weak, and I don't really think he's a 5-star left back. I think he's a 4-star left back, but I think he's a 5-star wing back as that. Like I say, as the wide man on the left in a formation with 3 centre backs. So he could be a very tidy option for you if that fits into your system. Not bad at all. And then finally, Rodriguez. This for me, best card in the pack easily. He's down as wide left, roaming flank. For sure he can play there. You look at his skill set. Long range curler, first time shot. Those are the key ones. He's got chip shot control, soul control, outside curler. So he's got a nice bit of technique when he gets into the area, when you're creating chances for him. But you look at his stats. Really good pace. Good balance. Very good stamina for a striker. Jumping and physical contact are alright. He's not got any heading skills, so he's not going to be brilliant in the air, but he might get you a header here and there. But then you go down the left, offensive awareness, good. On the ball, good. Passing, decent for a striker. 85 finishing, good. This guy is a good 5-star centre forward. Not just good for this pack, but he is a good striker. He's a very good option to pick up. He does have D form at the moment, which is going to last for 2 weeks. But he's in the Player of the Month pack, so he's obviously having a good season, so he's likely to get good form over the rest of the season. For me, he's the best player in the pack. He's a very good centre forward option to have for anyone. Roaming flank play style, so if you play him on the left, which you could do because he's got a long range curler, he can come inside, he's got a very good finish on him. Could be effective. He'll pop up in a lot of different positions as a roaming flank, but also as a centre forward, he'll effectively be a somewhat of a goal poacher. and he's really well built for that with his skills and his abilities. Get him in behind, create opportunities for him in the area, and he'll take them for you. Very good card. So there you go. That's the players in this pack. It's an interesting one. Obviously not many strong players, only a couple of 5-stars, but I think there's some interesting ones in there, and I think certainly if you like playing, if you enjoyed the Mexican League Challenge we just had, hopefully that's going to pop up again, and could be well worth picking up a bunch of these players for the next time that pops up. So there you go. Hope you found that useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.